What's going on, folks? It's Old Soldier coming at you today from Robeson County, North Carolina on a wet morning. It has been raining off and on all night long. I mean all night, I mean all night. A couple of times in the middle of the night it woke me up, it was raining so hard. Good thing was it didn't have a lot of wind. Camper didn't do any rocking, thank God. And I think it's supposed to rain off and on all day today here, and it's part of that tropical storm or something that's coming in that's bringing us a lot of rain off anyway. We're catching a lot of stuff off the coast. But then I've heard too that Etta may become another hurricane. And if it does, it's going to be one heck of a hurricane season. Holy cow. 1, 2, 3, 4 turkeys. Sorry about that, folks, but very seldom do I see turkeys out here. And to see 4 like that, wow. Like I said, we don't often get wild turkeys out this way. I wonder if they might be escapees from the poultry plant down the road. But anyway. So, and I pray for the people that's in the path of this next one coming in. I mean, this has been a record hurricane season, folks. Record. It's been a record year for a lot of things, too. But anyway, didn't do a video yesterday. Just kind of wanted to lay low and chill out for a little bit. I do want to send out to Uncle Al. Get well, brother. I hope you are feeling better today. If you don't know Uncle Al, check his channel out. I've posted a link to his channel before. He's been a little under the weather the last couple of days, but he's got a lot of great information. And, you need to check him out. Well, anyway, Georgia. Mandatory, well, I'd say mandatory is a poor choice word. They are going to conduct a hand count audit of all the votes in Georgia. Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh, to be specific, something in the tally of 600 and some odd thousand votes have the potential of being thrown out and not counted. I say not counted, they've already been counted, but the potential of being removed from that tally. Based on what I was watching yesterday, where there was an interview with Rudy Giuliani about the lawsuits they filed there in Pennsylvania, and the way those ballots were counted. Now, here's another one that I'm trying to remember the news source I was watching. But it's a very valid point, if you ask me. A lot of these late night ballots came in. They were only marked Joe Biden. No other down candidates. No other down vote. Does anybody else find that odd? How about the ballot harvesting that went on in Pennsylvania? Oh, there was no ballot harvest that went on in Pennsylvania, Old Soldier. That's because it's against Pennsylvania state law. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Somewhere to the tune of about 25,000 votes that were collected from a nursing home or nursing homes throughout the state. Yeah, it's really got me a little befuddled too, folks, to be quite honest. And I'd kind of like to get an answer on that one myself. Then there's another one. In a lot of these states that these silver ballots showed up, again, like you said, where the Republican senators, the Republican governors, Republican representatives in the House were reelected, but the president was marked Joe Biden. Don't understand that one. So there's a lot of odd anomalies, if you will, if that's the appropriate word to use here. Not to mention the multiple reports and eyewitness reports of conservative, I don't like to use the word Republican anymore because I'm about fed up with the GOP, but conservative / Republican poll observers being denied the opportunity, or actually their right as a poll worker, to monitor and observe the count of the mail-in ballots that were brought in. Specifically Detroit, Michigan, where I was doing some research last night, where they were basically, they covered up the windows of the building they were counting them in. Okay? There was one, I think it was Philadelphia. Even though there was a court order from a judge saying that this person was allowed, this poll worker was allowed in and needed to be allowed in, the sheriff at that facility threatened to arrest the man, would not enforce the order of the judge. So that's kind of where we're at right now. The day before yesterday, we talked about how they said Real Clear Politics rescinded their call for Pennsylvania. Now, according to the CEO of Real Clear Politics, they never called Pennsylvania for Joe Biden. But there's some conflicting reports about what they did or didn't do. I believe North Carolina was finally called for the president. No help, Roy Boy Pooper Scooper. That's another tick turd that needs to go, folks. Especially if you live here in North Carolina, you know what I'm talking about. Man's taking, I guess he called his buddy in California and started asking for tips on how to become a communist leader in this state, because he's come back and issued a new COVID restriction for Thanksgiving. Basically not allowing no more than 10 people to gather at a house to have Thanksgiving. Kind of like California's order, you know. Well, my question to old Roy Boy Pooper Scooper is this: who in the hell is going to enforce it? Who the hell is going to enforce it? I dare you, Roy Cooper, to come down here on Thanksgiving Day. And there's rumor that you're encouraging neighbors to call and report on neighbors. Well, dadgum, if that ain't a play out of the old Adolf Hitler playbook. Which brings me to the next thing. This Trump accountability.org or project, whatever you want to call it, that's culminating a list of anybody that supported or worked for the president. Yeah, folks, it's happening. Then you've got AOC basically blurting out the same thing, that there needs to be a list, there needs to be a tally of people that supported the president, and they're all saying the same thing: to hinder, block, boycott, disrupt the lives and the welfare of anybody that supported this current president. And And again, that comes right out of Communist 101. Marginalized, then demonized. And if this farce of an election is allowed to continue, and Joe Biden is truly declared the winner, which we all know Joe Biden won't rule the country, be his vice president, and the party. Let's put it this way, the party. Because Kamala Harris, folks, that whore of a Jezebel, is as much a puppet to the party as Joe Biden is. Okay? Even more so because she really thinks she'll have some power. I don't think she's come to the realization yet that she can be just as easily replaced as Joe Biden. That's the whole thing with the Communist Party. She's not strong enough to rule with an iron fist. She talks a good game, but she's really not. Right. Bottom line is this. They're following the communist playbook, word for word, verbatim, folks. And like I said, so if it's allowed to happen that they win, we're in for at least 4 years of pure T hell. I apologize for the language, folks, but I'm upset, I'm mad, I'm fired up about this whole thing. You know, and honestly, be prepared for the worst and hope for the best is the only thing I can tell you. Because if you're not prepared for the worst, hoping for the best ain't going to do you a bit of good. Just putting it out there. If it hurts some feelings, I'm sorry, but I'm putting it out there. But you start compiling a list of anybody that supported this president is wrong and needs to be investigated and prosecuted. And you've got to, well, she calls herself a journalist. She is an editor or a writer for the Washington, whatever that communist rag in Washington is that they read. But even she has come out and basically said that, I'm paraphrasing here, but basically we need to purge society of anybody that has supported this president and not allow them to participate in civilized society no longer. Justice Maxine Waters had the audacity to make the comment that she could not forgive any black voters that voted for Trump. Folks, that's just as racist as what Joe said about, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And anybody that continued to vote for Joe Biden after Maxine Waters said that, then you've allowed the Democratic Party to control your vote. You're allowing them to tell you that you cannot think for yourself. You're allowing them to tell you that you are not a free-minded individual, that you are not truly free. Now, if you voted for Joe Biden out of your own volition because you think that he can do a good job, so be it. I won't argue with you on that. I might laugh at you, but I won't argue with you on it because you've exercised your God-given right. But if you did so based on manipulation of, I won't forgive you if you vote for the other person, or you ain't black because you didn't vote for that person, then you really need to go get yourself examined because you got a mental deficiency. So these next few days, these next few weeks are going to be critical, folks. If the recount in Georgia turns in the favor of President Trump, great. Then we'll start to see the balance of this election swing. Also, the Senate runoffs in Georgia. If they swing one way, we possibly could lose control of the Senate. If they swing another way, conservatives maintain control of the Senate. We have to keep a close eye on that count in Georgia because, like I said, again, Fulton County, Georgia, a bastion for liberal politics, i.e. communists, and their cheating mechanism. Okay? Much like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, Detroit. I don't know what to tell you about Arizona. There's rumor that it'll flip. I say rumor because there's not exactly a clear message coming out of Arizona. And if anybody lives out there that's closer to the ground on that can enlighten us, put it down in the comments below. But if Arizona does turn back for Trump and Pennsylvania's flipped and called for President Trump and he gains Georgia, then it's a done deal. And given the voter discrepancies in those states, there is the possibility it could swing. But I'm going to tell you something, folks. That's the other part of this conversation today. If it does swing for our current president and he does come out on top and wins this election, there is still going to be strife and civil division, the likes of which we have never seen in this nation, at least not since the Civil War. You're saying, oh my God, the old soldier said there's going to be a civil war. No, I'm not. But we will see civil unrest, the likes of which we haven't seen since that time. If you look at the voting polls, our nation is roughly divided on left and right issues. There's no middle ground, it seems. Even though the demographics of this election show that the president gained in minority votes. Okay. Will that trend hold for the next Republican/conservative candidate in the next election? Hard to say. Hard to say. If there indeed is a next election. Because if these communists win, there'll be no more elections, folks. It'll be whoever the party decides to lead the country. Well, there'll be elections, old soldier. There'll be a mockery. There'll be a farce. And the cheating will be on a scale the likes of which we've never seen. You see, it's starting to boil down with the left, the liberals, the communists, if you will. We're already starting to see the removable things of society if they don't agree with it. We're starting to see things that, you know, if you're not with them, they search and reach out to destroy you. Okay? So keep your eyes open, folks. Oh, excuse me, I got a case of yawns, but since 3 this morning. It's only this rain's got my back on fire. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears to the ground. Keep your head on a swivel, folks. Be careful out there. Continue to gather things that you're going to need in the coming weeks and months. Until tomorrow, folks. God bless. Take care. Soul Soldier out.